I don't know, but
No, you know what you need, Chantal? You need to get your butt out of the Middle East. You need to go back to Canada and you need to start living a life that isn't just a big scam. I mean, this is silly. You're going to be 40 years old. You're out here, I mean, following some 29-year-old thinking that he's going to love you and marry you and make a life with you and whatever. Girl, come on. He laughs at you. He makes fun of you. I mean, why do you think you're over there with him? Because you guys are living it up? I mean, yeah, you really look like you're living it up. You really look like you're happy. What you need to do is you need to go back to Canada. You need to start putting in hard work. And you need to, if a relationship is really what you want, if that's your end game in life, I know it is for some people. If that's really what you want, someone to love you, someone to call you baby, someone to give you affirmations, whatever. I mean, slow steps. I mean, whatever. Get on the dating apps, work on yourself, get back to a point where you can walk for more than a minute without getting dizzy. I mean, that would, if I were that in that place, that would be my number one priority. Not who's going to call me baby when I put my head down at night. I mean, girl, come on. I mean, you're not going to be able to heal in this environment, let alone thrive. You're talking about energy. You're sitting here telling us how you're about to fall asleep.
So you're getting help and you want to dunk on Chantel? And that's why I think Shannon and FFG's chemistry is so beautiful, because they're so similar. FFG has to be the hero. That's why she has to always dunk on Chantel with something. Like when she did the thing with BBJ, I stand on this. She did her big one. She did her big one with that one, especially with the way Chantel was running her mouth, talking about FFG's dogs. And all. When I saw her pull that off, I said, leave it to Chantel to have me applaud FFG. I was pissed. I was like, oh, this was so good. She trolled the fuck out of you. Oh my God. So, just so we're clear, and you heard it here first. What happened with BBJ, rescuing BBJ? The BBJ rescue to FFG will be with the 89 LBs are to Amber. You will always hear about it for years to come. Always. That's never going to die. She did her big one. She had to make it public. And for those saying, oh, it's for the money, I think you guys forget, I've said this before, multiple things can be right at once. She did her big one and definitely helped BBJ, because at this point, I think almost anybody's better than Chantel. But yes, of course it was for the money. If it wasn't for the money, she wouldn't have made it public. Of course it was for the money. Are you kidding? The bitch held she shopped for BBJ's collar on stream. She shopped for a cat to get a Gucci collar for a cat. Of course it was for money. But I'm not going to take away the fact that, like, at least she got BBJ. But yes, it was for money. Yes, it was for content. Are you crazy? That is her 89 LBs, bitch. She is never letting that go. That will always be content in some way.
Isms. So, French fried girls should be worried because Chantal was threatening to sue again. Shadowed that she might have returned to Canada to handle some other business, and she would handle that while she was there. I would be terrified if I was French fried girl. So terrified. This is the woman who couldn't even make a vet appointment, and she's going to coordinate a multi-person lawsuit because she felt duped about her cat being given to somebody else. By her to somebody else. But she couldn't tell you who because the selfish bitch wouldn't even walk down the stairs to go say bye. She handed it to Pete's. Again, many reasons we can't follow through with our commitments. So. And Chantal doesn't have much tolerance for distress or discomfort. If something isn't exactly the way she wants to eat it, she's not going to eat it. If it's not the right temperature, she's not going to eat it. So you would think someone as large as her would be much more picky. But, or would be much less picky. But actually, some of the more morbidly obese people I know are rather picky about their food. And, like other folks who deal with addiction, can get pretty nasty if they don't get what they want. How many people think that they've probably fought about food a couple times already? I'm sure he was fine with her coming over, but she farted out a bunch of promises initially that she was gonna, I'm gonna go to the gym and lose weight, and it'll be great, and I'll be going to the beach, and we'll be travel beezing. If you're too fat for a plane, you gotta do something. because now you can't even get out of there in a hurry if you need to. There's no shame in buying 2 plane seats if you need them, but if you don't like that you need them, or that you're cutting it close to needing them, whose job is it to change the shape of Chantal's body? Yours? Mine? A pill? Some Ozempic? No, it comes down to Chantal and what she chooses to do. At this point, she's had more resources and opportunities and access to treatment over the years that most people don't give a shit how she feels, or that she probably can't handle all of her ADLs maybe on her own, because she was always such a nasty, self-centered person that her discomfort brings people pleasure. We've heard of Schadenfreude. You know, it's the same sort of thing. I don't
So we saw some boats pass by while we were hanging out by the riverside and decided after we were done hanging out by the river to see if we could find a dock and take a boat ride ourselves. On our way,
it was his hard-earned money to try to buy her food that would support her health. And then either she ordered it without him, or he came to reason of, look, I don't love you so much that $250 isn't worth risking your health to me. So if you really love me, Chantal, really, really love me, you'll go on there, eat yourself half to death, and give me the cash. So, I don't know. And she wants privacy. Okay. And where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? He's out with the boys. Thailand, from what I understand, has a very, very active sex scene. So, I'm sure he'll text you. But at any rate, this week we're going to... But she's sitting there, not a lot of people around, but it was the old eyes darting. Remember the outhouse? Or going for Burger King and then sitting in the parking lot, full face of makeup, looking all over the place to see who's looking and who's watching. She's out proud and doesn't care, but hawks like she's ashamed of what she's engaging in. So when she's sitting there with Sala eating, and there's people, you know, not a lot of people, because they go everywhere when it's closed. She's afraid of people, and they want to be able to film, and they're weird. They're weird. She likes getting attention, but standing out doesn't really... Like, I think she probably feels like people are staring, because they are staring. It's a spectacle. She's 4 times the size of a normal woman. So I think people are going to stare. That shouldn't be unexpected. Is it rude? Is it cruel? I don't know. Bottom line, it shouldn't be unexpected. And to act shocked would be kind of stupid as well.
One, I'm pretty, okay? That has a lot, and I don't mean that to be conceited. I'm being very matter of fact. Being pretty gets you a lot of privilege. I'm just saying, you can get away with a lot if you're pretty. Number one, I'm pretty.
Hi guys, and welcome to Tailored Talk. So guys, the reason I've been away is because I've been watching this amazing trailer, okay, written by Sam H. Freeman and Nung Chun Ping, and they've done a British short film. They did it in 2021, and it was called Femme. So it became a success, and they decided to invest more money and more time into making a longer version of this film called Femme. Now, the original version was 2021. It won a British Short Award from the British Independent Film Awards, and it became a huge hit. So they made a longer version of it, and I haven't seen the short film, and I'm trying to find the short film, but they've released the trailer for the new, longer, feature-length version of Femme that they've done. So why YouTube recommended this to me, I don't know. But they did, and I've been watching this trailer non-stop. So if they'll allow me to put the trailer in, I will show you this trailer that I am seriously obsessed with. Sorry guys, I forgot to add trigger warning, LGBTQ themes and homophobic violence.
Bitches are big man, these high heels. Well, you can turn around if you're a fucking man. You're letting them win.
How you want to deal with that?
I think you're a nice looking lad. On your front. I'm a nice guy. If you disrespect me, fuck you up. I get that. Yeah, I'm the same. Oh, you're not. You're a fucking big man. I best remember not to fuck with you then.
So this film features Nathan Stewart-Jarrett from Candyman and Misfits, and George Mackay. Now, I haven't seen George in anything, but he has been in 1917. After research, guys, he's been in 1917, When Hands Touch, Wolf, and I Came By. I haven't seen any of those films, but I will watch this George Mackay in Femme, because this film looks awesome, and it's a kind of a genre that hasn't been covered in an LGBTQ world. So this film looks amazing, and I will be doing video after video after video of this film Femme when it finally comes out in December. So please stay tuned. Hi guys, and welcome to Tailored Talk to Me. You see what I did there? Okay guys, so I'll be reviewing the A24 smash hit of Talk to Me by the Philippou brothers. And it's a horror film. I clicked on it so fast because I've heard about it. It's hugely popular. It's like a #1 hit everywhere. Okay. So we're gonna review this now. So a booming party is happening, and a guy comes into this party looking for another guy called Duckett. A woman, maybe the homeowner, tells him that he needs to sort his brother out. So the guy notes that his brother Duckett has trapped himself in a random room in this party. So the brother kicks the door open, and his brother Duckett is facing the wall and talking about their dead father. His brother starts to walk him out of the house, planning to take him home. Furiously, he tells everyone to stop filming because, as always, everyone's got their phone out. As the guy walks his brother out, this Duckett gets a knife and stabs his brother to death. Everyone at the party freaks out. They start to run, before Duckett stares at them aimlessly in a daze. Like, I'm assuming that this kid's on drugs. So, and then he just puts the knife in his head and collapses. Okay, so then the credits go, the cold open ends, and we're on to the present. So a girl looks like she's at a funeral. She gets a call. It cuts to 2 kids talking about smoking and trying it. So one kid is smoking, and then the other kid says, no, I'm not going to try it. Like, can it give you cancer by just smoking it one time? And the kid calls him a fetus. So the girl, Mia, picks up this kid who's on the street corner called Riley, the one who does not smoke the cigarette. And I thought, well, is this Mia's little brother? They seem to know each other really well. And, the chandelier scene seemed really fun. I was singing it along with them. So Mia is driving back when she sees a kangaroo, and Riley wants her to kill it, put it out of its misery, but she can't. So she takes Riley back to his sister called Jade. They're all friends, apparently, and she tells her about the kangaroo. And Jade is constantly not really listening and typing on her phone. So we realise now that Mia's mum has passed away 2 years ago, and it was kind of her mother's celebration day. And she uses that to manipulate Jade to go to the party with her. And Jade has a crush on this guy called Daniel. Like, there's this thing that Mia and Daniel held hands a few years ago, but nothing really happened between them. So now Daniel is with Jade. And it's like, I was looking at that scene and I was thinking, Mia, why would you joke about sex with Daniel when you know that Jade likes him like that? It just seems a really cringeworthy thing to joke about when you know that Jade has feelings for him. So Jade, Mia, and Wiley, both of their families are like super close. They're basically like family to one another. So Jade's mum lets her go with Mia to a party, and I think that, you know, Wiley. So yeah, Wiley lets Mia lets Wiley come as well, and Jade as a big sister has issues with it. But then Wiley kind of blackmails Jade with her forgetting to pick him up. So Jade relents, and they all go to this party hosted by Haley. Now, Haley clearly has a problem with Mia as soon as she walks in, but she's always got time for Jade, I see. So Mia tries to bond with other people at this party, but they don't know her. She's not cool enough for them, so they're not interested in her. So Mia kind of takes a shot of alcohol and walks around to try to shake off the awkwardness. Haley, the host, kind of tells Jade that she doesn't like Mia. Mia's kind of a downer, and Jade stands up for her. So it's this guy called, the house that they're in, it's in this guy called Joss's house, and Joss and Haley are friends. So they do this thing where they strap people down in a chair and connect them to this embalm hand, and they get in touch with the dead. So the rules are that it has to be under 90 seconds. Anything over 90 seconds and the spirits will stay with you. If you die while they are inside you, these spirits will have you forever. Just adding that you light the candle to open the door and blow the candle to close the door. Those are the rules. So it's just a quick fix, so they say. And it's, you know, I read the reviews before about the metaphors for drug use, and it is kind of like that. The party atmosphere, the peer pressure, the strapping down to the chair, the immediate high when the spirits enter the body, and things like that. It's very much passing a drug around at a party that you see in the movies. Right, so Mia is desperate to fit in, and she goes first. Haley really doesn't like Mia. I really like the actress who plays Haley because she really makes it clear that, like, she likes Jade, but Mia can eat shit. For whatever reason, I can smell the tension, and Jade thinks that she's joking. And then, you know, so Mia holds the hand, says, talk to me, and sees the dead. She sees this huge, bloated, drowned woman, and she freaks out at first, but the whole crowd cheer her on. And she says, I let you in. So she gets possessed by a spirit. They like Wiley and hate Daniel. The lights go out, and Mia is like screaming one over and over again. She's squeezing the hand so hard that even a big guy like Joss can't get the hand off her in time. So the whole house goes weird. Everyone looks scared. They finally get the hand off her, but they've gone over the 90-second time limit. Everyone looks panicked, but Mia said that it felt amazing. The teens cheer. All the teens cheer, like they weren't just shitting their pants just a few seconds ago. So they get back home, and Wiley is panicked by the hand, and he hates storms. So he goes to see if he can share a room with Jade, but she tells him, like, go away, you're not a kid anymore. He meets Mia on the sofa, who happily just lets him sleep on the sofa with her, because she's like, it's your house, dude, just sleep wherever you want. So they talk, and Mia says that she has a recurring nightmare about basically existing, but people not being able to see her. And that will be relevant later. And they talk about the hand and how freaked out they were by it. And she said that it felt great. During this time, Riley asks her about her dead mum. And it's like, Riley, why bring that up? You know all the trauma that she's been through with losing her mum and how that's a sore spot for her. Why would you bring that up? So, obviously, they haven't told him much to protect him, but Mia says, she took a bunch of sleeping pills by accident. And I love Riley and Mia's relationship. It's so sweet. Mia basically tells him that she was quite depressed, and Riley, and how she was alone. And Riley is just like, you're never going to be alone. You're always going to have Jade and me. They have such this sweet, just innocent brother-sister relationship. It's not seedy. She's not trying to seduce him. It's not crazy. She doesn't try to make him do stuff that he doesn't want to do to make himself cool. He can just be himself around Mia, and it's so sweet. I love their friendship. So there's Riley finally goes to sleep, and Mia takes out the earbuds and takes his phone away from him. And there's like a swampy, scary hand trying to touch Riley as he's sleeping. So Jade, the next day at school, approaches Hayley and Joss and says, Hayley, we need that hand again. Daniel wants to try it, and she'll do anything to impress Daniel. And I think Hayley wants to impress Jade. I'm constantly thinking throughout this, does Hayley have a crush on Jade? That's what I'm thinking. Does she have a crush? So, Hayley says, Jade, you want a hand house party? You've got one. So this party is announced, it's set up, and Jade's mum is instantly suspicious. Jade's mum, Sue, should be a police officer because she's right on the money about a party. It's so hilarious, the way that she was trying to get Jade and Riley to admit that there was a party going on, but they were very good. They did not spill the beans. I think, so the party is set up, and Hayley is like pretending to drink and shit, and I think that the party begins, and I think Hayley likes Jade and is trying to play up at her house to get her attention. It's very telling that the party starts with Riley's entrance. We see it from Riley's point of view. He walks in and the party starts to happen, and it's just kind of a and you look at it in hindsight and you go, this something is going to happen here that affects Riley, but we don't know what. So Joss says that inside the unbound hand, there's a real psychic, Hayley corrects him with medium, hand in there. And Daniel goes first. This was all set up for Daniel's benefit. And basically, there's a spirit that gets inside him that is basically as rude as hell to Jade. Basically says that you can't get Daniel hard, you're not good enough, basically. And I thought that Hayley would be laughing, but because this one embarrassed the shit out of Jade, she hates the spirit and calls it a see you next Tuesday. More proof that she likes Jade, in my opinion. So Daniel's spirit is quite horny and humps the floor and makes out with the dog. And Joss's face throughout this was so funny. I'll put a screenshot in. So he's humiliated, he's been filmed making out with the dog, and now he knows it's going to go viral. He storms out, and then Jade follows him. And I'm just thinking, how can Daniel be mad when he literally asked for this party? So they all take it in turns for the hand hide. Joss, Hayley, and Mia, they all take it in turns, have a good time, get wacky with this hand. Riley and his friend wants to try the hand, but it's an absolute no from Jade. And Jade goes back to check up on him, and Riley wants to try the hand, and she's like, no, absolutely not. But obviously Jade leaves, but Jade leaves, and I don't know whether it's with Daniel or without Daniel, but she leaves, and I think she leaves with Daniel, because I think Daniel's still traumatized. Mia decides to let this kid do it for 50 seconds, so she says. So They let him do it, but allegedly Mia's dead mother appears through Wiley, and it's just like, I'm so sorry, Mia, I didn't mean to do it, I'm so proud of you, I love you so much. It suckers Mia in, and because of that, Mia kind of pins Wiley's hand to the hand and lets Wiley go after the 50-second mark, then over the 90-second mark. So by this point, he's possessed by spirits, and the spirits try to kill Wiley. They smash his head. They rip out his eye. They try to kill him, to possess his body. Poor Jade walks back into the room to see spirits smashing her brothers to pieces, and Haley is diabolical because, you know, the spirits are going crazy on Wiley. Everybody's freaking out, and Haley pulls out Joss and says, "Look, we gotta go." And she's like, and he's like, "Well, we've kind of got to stay. This kid's face is smashed up, and we're witnesses. Like, what if the police want to talk to us?" And Haley's just like, "After what happened the last time, do you really want to like speak to the police again? Do you really want to go through this?" So they leave. They pretend that it did. They bounce. They like, "We got to bounce." They leave. So everybody's freaking out. The police come, the mother's freaking out. So you can imagine how guilty Jade feels at this time, lying to her mother about this party from the beginning, and look at what happens. So Mia gets home absolutely exhausted. She starts to see visions of her mother. Mia and her dad have a beautiful home, and she stole in all the commotion, she was able to steal the hand. So the hand is with her, and I think it's going to have an incredibly bad influence on her. The police get involved, and Wiley is in hospital. So his face is completely smashed. The makeup in this is amazing. His face is he doesn't even look like the same person. So Maya goes to see Wiley, but she's rightfully rejected by Sue, Wiley's mum, and Jade. In passing, she sees her ghost mum, Rhea, at the hospital, and she's freaking out, and Daniel goes to follow her and is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just thinking, Daniel, does Mia look okay? She's in a corner on the staircase crying her eyes out. Does she look okay to you? So Daniel takes her home, and she offers him a place for the night because he can't tell his parents about this, and he's 18, so the police didn't have to tell his parents. And they think that he's at his cousin's, and he kind of needs a place to stay. Now, at first he's like, "I don't really want to stay with you because I'm Jade's boyfriend and it looks weird," but she kind of pulls the "I don't want to be alone," and he accepts. So she talks to him about the visions that she's been having of her mother. And Daniel, I don't know whether it's because he's older or whether it's because he's got more sense, kind of tells her that, look, the spirits invaded you for over 90 seconds. That's enough time to get information about you, to get the person that you love and the person that you miss the most, and spook you out with these visions. These spirits are crafty and they're evil, and they're going to try to freak you out. They're going to try to hurt you through your mother. They end up flirting, and I really think that he should go back to Jade's house because this is crossing a few lines. So Mia is having nightmares. She has visions of this really really distorted, really hideous woman kind of sucking on Daniel's feet, but it's actually her sucking on Daniel's feet. The visions are like driving her crazy, and it freaks Daniel out. He leaves because obviously you've got some weirdo sucking the shit out of your feet, and he didn't even want to really stay there anyway because he knew that it would be inappropriate. So freaking out, Mia goes back to the hand. Mia goes back to the hand, and this is the point where she should have thrown the hand away because it's very clear that it's having a really negative effect on her. It's distorting and changing her reality, and it's the same with the drugs. Like, the drugs is ruining your life, but you still cling on to the drugs because you feel like it's the only real thing that you have in your life, but it isn't. Mia is clinging on to the hand because the hand is the only real connection that she has to her mother, but is it? So she talks to her mother. She goes back to the hand and talk to me. She talks to her mother. Her mother is grey-eyed. Her skin is mottled. And water is constantly bubbling when Rhea is around. And she tells her that Riley needs her help. So in one of the most scariest scenes, Riley is getting washed by his mum and his sister in the hospital. In the hospital, he bites Jade, crawls out of the wheelchair in the shower, possessed by demons, possessed by spirits, and tries to kill himself. So desperate, they go back to Joss and said, look, Joss, who did you get the hand from? And he says, I got the hand from Duckett, the kid that killed himself and his brother at the very beginning. And in a miraculous turn, the stabbed brother, who's called Cole, who I thought was a goner, he actually survived. Cole and Duckett were the brothers in the beginning. Duckett stabbed Cole and then killed himself, and I thought they were both dead. Cole survived the stabbing. He's alive. They meet him at a bus stop and they go to meet him. Okay, Cole wants nothing to do with them, especially Joss. So he goes onto the bus and completely ignores them. But Mia and Jade follow Cole on the bus, and Cole feels sorry for them and gives them more demon info. And Cole says give it time. As time goes on, they will get weaker inside the body. But you could see his look of shock when he was like, "You let a kid do it?" Adult teenagers can barely take this. The demons nearly choked Daniel to damn near death before they went in. And you let a little kid do this. And I just felt even more bad for Mia because it's just another thing to shit on her for this. And he says, give it time. And Jade is like, we don't have time. Every time Riley is conscious, they're trying to kill him. By the time, if you give it 2 weeks, he could be dead by then. So she bursts out of the bus because she's really pissed because they don't have time and she feels like she's losing her brother. They all follow her off the bus and then the blame game starts. Mia tries to blame Joss and Hayley, but for once, I'm on Hayley's side in this scene because Mia was the one that let it go over 50 seconds because grief made her selfish and she doesn't want to admit it. She was like, oh, Hayley, you two were egging him on. You two were doing this. You were saying that. You were pushing him to do it. And I agree with Hayley when she was like, there's no way you're fucking bringing us into this. It was all you. You got lured in by your mother's spirit. You pressed Riley's hand against the hand. Okay, and then you left it there for over 90 seconds. It was all you. I do agree with Hayley on that one. So desperate, they try the hand on Riley for the second time. And this is another scary ass scene with this little ghost girl with these huge weird eyes that appears on the bed and says, and Mia says, please, can you show me? Can you take me to Riley? Where is he? And she says, okay, I'll show you. And he's being tortured in hell by demons. So Mia, Sophie was great in this scene because, it's a realistic horror of what your reaction would be if you saw somebody that was like a brother getting tortured and it was all your fault. So she's horrified. She tells the others what she saw, and then she goes home. Her dad finally wants to talk. When she gets back, her father, Max, finally wants to talk to her about her mother, Rhea's death. So Mia has the hand with her in the rucksack and her dad reads out Rhea's suicide letter and Mia is in denial because she's like, that's not what she told me. And ghost mum, who is still there, says, Mia, it's not true. It says it's not true. And Ghost Rhea, Ghost Mum, says that the dad isn't real. He's an imitation and he's tricking her. But then I think is the dad tricking her or is Ghost Mum tricking her? And Ghost Mum tells Mia to kill Riley. That he'll have a better life off dead because being alive, he's just going to get tortured. So she gets attacked by Dad Ghost, her real dad ends up trying to break down the door and help her, but Ghost Dad is a hallucination and she ends up stabbing her real dad in the neck. Again, Mia, this may be a good time to get rid of the hand, sweetheart. So Mia, now on a mission to kill Riley, lures Jade from the hospital to her house. So when she is at the hospital, she sees Jade leave the hospital, and it's funny that she uses her friendship with Jade against her to get Jade to her house so that she can kill her brother. But now you know that Mia has clearly lost her mind. The spirits have ruined her mind. Because the real Mia would never do this. So while she's approaching him, Sue, Riley and Jade's mum, speaks to Mia, and she basically says that she forgives her and that she didn't mean to blame her. But then she was like, I haven't seen you in a while. And it's like, Sue, you basically threatened Mia with the police. You basically, the last time you saw Mia at the hospital, you threatened Mia with the police if you ever saw her near Riley again. So that's why she hasn't shown up. But grief makes you do crazy things. So they make up, and Sue assumes that Riley had some kind of breakdown, which is just not true. It's like, so in this, now Sue has kind of come to terms with everything. She lets Mia be with Riley alone, which is the worst thing that she could do right now. After everything that Sue has said, because she's like driven by her spirit mother, by this demon mother, ghost mum, after everything that Sue has said about forgiving her and about blaming herself and about how Mia is family, she's still gonna go ahead and try to kill Riley. So she's getting visions, horrible visions, and I think Ghost Mum is taking over. I really do. And it goes back to the kangaroo where this older guy in the bed is taking the place of Riley and saying, do it. She goes back to the kangaroo. Where like we'll have him forever. So she goes back to the kangaroo, how it was easier to just put the kangaroo out of his misery, and she's gonna go to the road, take him into the road and get him run over. So she takes Riley into, she starts taking him down to the road in a wheelchair, and Ghost Mum and Jade calls the hospital for Max and realizes that she's been tricked. So Ghost Mum is giving Mia that high, telling Mia how proud she is, how much she loves her, and then says the words that kind of make Mia snap out of this is that if you do this, we'll have him forever. And Mia pauses because we means the spirits, and she lets go of the chair. We means the spirits, and she lets go of the chair, and she realizes that she's been tricked. So Jade rushes to the rescue. We see an accident happen. We see Jade run into the rescue. Mia's near the road in the wheelchair, and then an accident happens. She lets go of the wheelchair. I think then she realizes that the mother was a spirit all along that had been evil and tricking her and had taken the presence of her mother. So she just lets the wheelchair go. She just lets go of the wheelchair, but we don't know if the wheelchair wheeled into the road or not. So there's an accident that happens, and Mia is left crumpled in the road. She suddenly gets up and is badly bruised to see Jade over on the grass. Hugging her brother in the chair, and she gets up, she walks back, so Riley is saved, right? She walks back to the hospital, and there's flashes of the past and the present mixed together, and she sees Riley on a gurney, then she sees Riley in a hospital bed, flashes, her dad walking through the corridor. So everything is mixed together. Riley is awake, no scars, talking to his family. There's like flashes of the past, flashes of the present. It's very clear now that she's dead. It's very clear. She's bruised, she's exhausted, she's in the same clothing. The past and present is happening right in front of her in flashes, and there's nothing that she can do about it. And nobody can see her, nobody can hear her, and it's very clear that she's gone. And she gets flashes of light, and this flicker of candlelight that she gravitates towards. And Mia is summoned by the embalmed hand. And we don't know where the hand is now, what country, what continent, what place it is across the world. We don't know where the hand is. but she's summoned by the hand, and she's now in a chair being stared at by one person who's staring at her in wonder. And then she holds hands with the guy and of this party goer in the chair, and a guy that's next to him tells the man what to do in Greek, and the guy holds her hand, looks at her like deeply and says, "I let you in," and she's like and the film has painfully come full circle, and that is the end. She has become the ghost. She has become the spirit on the other side. She's become the party ghost that she saw in the beginning. My thoughts. Okay. The film was amazing. The cast was fantastic, and they really gelled with each other. Sophie Wilde, who plays Mia, and Joe Bird, who plays Riley, were amazing. Especially Mia and Riley's relationship was so sweet in the beginning, which makes what happened even more disturbing, because they had that amazing family love that was broken so violently. I personally think that that Hayley had a crush on Jade, and kind of Jade had her wrapped around her little finger, and that's why Jade was the one that would constantly ask for favours about the house hand parties. Unpopular opinion, but Jade should have stayed to look after Riley at the party. If she had been there, then none of it would have happened. Now, yes, Mia was there, but it's not Mia's responsibility to look after your brother. If I had a younger sibling and I was the only one that was their advocate and the only one available to supervise because you planned a party in secret, then I would have to look after my younger sibling, and that means keep an eye on them like a hawk. The thing is, if Jade had kept an eye on Riley and stayed in the room and stopped chasing after Daniel's dick, then none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened if she had just been there, if she had just stayed. You know, that's what I don't understand. You know, if you're going to be a big sister, then be a big sister and look after your brother like you know that your mother would want you to. So, and really, where's Riley and Jade's dad? Where's he at? Is it like a deadbeat situation or divorce situation? So that's I was kind of curious about that as well. But yeah, it is, the Riley situation is Jade's fault. Jade kind of takes more responsibility than Mia, because Jade, that's your brother. You know, and under your guardianship, you know, when your mum wasn't there, you had sole responsibility and you should have looked after your brother, and you didn't. So to me, Jade was more at fault than Mia was, in my opinion. It's kind of funny that I really liked the concept of the spirits hating Daniel from the beginning. So when they entered him, they made it a point to embarrass him. And it's like, how do you embarrass someone like Daniel? And Daniel is a Christian, like no sex before marriage type of guy. And as soon as they entered him, he got paired with a horny spirit that humps the floor, is very sexual, very rude, very overtly sexual, was quick to criticize Jade about how bad she was, or how bad she was going to be at any foreplay that they may have had. And they get a horny spirit that humps the floor and makes Daniel kiss a dog. And I thought that was a great contrast to prove how negative the spirits were and how much they hated Daniel, that they would embarrass him like that. That dog thing, that dog moment is like a viral moment that will stay with him forever. So it kind of shows you how much the spirits hated him. In my opinion, they targeted Riley from the start. You know, Mia's ghost mother. They targeted Riley, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because he was the youngest and more vulnerable, and they instantly were drawn to that. Because even before even when they first entered Mia, they targeted Riley and said they like you, which is why they probably all picked him out from the start, which was very interesting. And if you're here this far, maybe you could tell me why you think they targeted Riley. So Mia's ghost mother, Rhea, was never her mother, in my opinion. It was the huge drowning woman from the very beginning, because Mia's mum died from pills. And she only died 2 years ago. So why was the ghost mum always wet? Every time ghost mum appeared, there was the sound of trickling water, or she was visibly wet and visibly drowning. And I think it's because the ghost mum was a costume for the drowning woman. It was never Rhea. It was never Mia's mother. The drowning woman picked out the person that Mia missed the most, so that she could use Mia to kill Riley, and Riley's the kid that they wanted from the start. The goal was always Riley, and they used Mia and her grief and her desperation to have her mum back, and they used all that against her to get their main target, that was Riley. It was a great twist that Cole got stabbed by his brother in the beginning and was still alive and was able to help them out. Cole really hates Joss, and I'd like to see that explored. I feel really sorry for Mia's dad losing his wife and then his daughter so brutally, and he's got no one now. And I wonder if he'll find the hand and maybe get advice from Haley and Joss to start using the hand to get in contact with his family. Maybe he'll start again and have another family, but who knows? Talking about Haley and Joss, I really grew to like Haley and Joss. I hope these characters... I hear that there's another movie, there's some kind of sequel going on because of how popular this film is, and I hope that Haley and Joss are in the sequel, or Haley and Joss reprise their roles, because I really want to find out more about them. I didn't like Haley in the beginning, but I liked them more and more as the film went on, and now I'm really interested in the background of Haley and Joss. Haley and Joss, the hand, how they got together, how they became friends, because they seem to have really amazing chemistry. So I like the film. I'll give it 6.5, 7 out of 10. I did really like the film. I did like the acting. I don't really watch horror, but I did have to watch this film, and I clicked on it so fast because I've been hearing about it for a while now. So did you like the film, guys? How much would you rate it? Why did the spirits go after Riley? Was Mia's mother really real? If Mia was alive, how do you think Riley and Jade and Sue and that whole family would feel about her if she was alive? Did you like the film? What did you like? What didn't you like? Did the dog scene freak you out? Do you think that Daniel really likes Jade or not? Okay, guys, let me know what you think about the film in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Just adding, guys, that if the ending had turned out differently, and Maya was alive, do you think that Mia and Daniel would have been a couple further on down the road, because they clearly had the most chemistry, even though they both knew that it was inappropriate with Daniel dating her best friend? So let me know in the comments.